Hello, I'm Film Reviewer Schulz again. I remembered because I'm just like the Nostalgia Critic again. Why, you may ask? Because today I'm counting down the top 11 best Nostalgia Critic episodes from 2011. Now, I just want to say from a fan's perspective that 2011 was so far the least good year for the Nostalgia Critic. Which is not to say that the show was bad or unwatchable, far from it. But the good number of episodes that seemed less funny, like they missed the spark of humor that started this series. Of course, the year did start off strong with sequel month. They had another good run of Nostalgia-ween, complete with an advanced opening, and finished the year off with a really good string of episodes in November and December. So basically, most of the lesser episodes happened during the middle of the year. I certainly applaud Doug and Rob for trying new things with the show, even if they always didn't get a positive reaction from the audience. And I'm sure that the series will continue to find good, bad films to rip on and analyze, as well as the occasional positive reviews. Now, getting all that out of the way, I can now start talking about the Nostalgia Critic episodes that I thought were the best of last year. The ones that had the most laughs in them. The ones where just seeing footage from the film itself was like a joke. The most creative ones, and the ones that could be positive towards the subject matter, while still being funny as well. Why top 11? Because if you know anything about the Nostalgia Critic, you should already know why.
Hello, hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Hello, hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Do you have some change?
Number 11. Raiders of the Story Arc, Superman the Animated Series. Now, Raiders of the Story Arc, a series that Doug started at the end of 2010 with an episode on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series. Raiders of the Story Arc is one of those series, much like the top 11 lists or old versus new, where every new episode of them seems to just keep getting better and better. And that's why the last one he did from 2011 on Superman the Animated Series has made it onto this list. The best part about the Raiders of the Story Arc is because it just gives Doug a chance to really speak positively about an animated series that had a big impact on him, and even if you've never seen any of the animated series, such as a viewer like myself, they're still very engrossing episodes because of how Doug analyzes the first several episodes, how the plot works throughout them, as well as throwing in many good jokes as well. And so they're always funny and, in a way, educational as well, if you've never seen these series. These episodes are always funny and informative, and the one on Superman the Animated Series, particularly coming later in the year after he'd already discussed Batman the Animated Series, was a good counterpart to that earlier episode. And it was also really funny as well.
Hello, hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Hello, hello, I'm the Nostalgia
Number 10. Babes in Toyland. Now, as I said in the intro to this, how some Nostalgia Critic episodes can be really good simply by just watching footage from the film itself, and how that's so absurd and ridiculous that it's just funny in and of itself without trying to be usually. This is one of those episodes. This is also the first episode in his month of Christmas reviews, which was certainly a welcome return from last year, where, apart from his own made Christmas special, the only other Christmas film reviewed was Rover Dangerfield, which was really only slightly Christmas related anyway. And so it was good to see this last year whole slew of Christmas films that he reviewed. Even if the last one came out at the beginning of 2012, that was still worth the wait. And so this got things off to a really good start. I mean, it started off with how it seemed like he was going to do a Christmas Carol parody, and then him saying he didn't want to do a Christmas Carol parody. I was a little worried at the start. It seemed he was doing something that was a little too similar to what Linkara did in one of his Christmas comic book reviews, where he was also refusing to do a Christmas Carol parody. But this one was especially helped by the appearance of Jim Trogan, who you may remember from Suburban Nights as Bill, the guy in the very start of the film, and he also made an appearance as Carl at the end of the Cell review from last year as well. And he did a really good, funny job of playing the ghost of Christmas Future, who continually keeps interrupting Doug's review, trying to turn it into a Christmas Carol parody. Especially the joke he did about Tiny Tom.
Tiny Tom!
What?
Okay, look. Handsome Tom is a tall guy. So if we call him Tiny Tom, it'll be just like the Willow joke.
It'll be exactly like the Willow joke!
Yes, but it's Christmas, so we'll be forgiven.
And so he's really funny as well. And then just the critic talking about the film itself. The film itself just looks so incredibly cheap and cheesy and ridiculous. It was just hilarious, and the acting, with Keanu Reeves and Drew Barrymore and Pat Morita and, Richard Mulligan, and what the heck is that? And all that.
What the heck is that?
Running jokes throughout it, and just lots of really funny jokes coming one after another, and the film just invites them at its own expense. It just can't. You cannot watch a film like this and not help make fun of the cheapness of it all. And it also ended really good and a good lead way into the next review, the Christmas review that came after this. So it was just yet another really funny Christmas review from the critic.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Hello, I'm the Nostalgia
Number 9, Langoliers. This is another one, very much like the last one I was talking about, Babes in Toyland, where it's just seeing footage from this film, it's so unintentionally hilarious. It's certainly one of the big things the critic points out is Bronson Pinchot's overacting, scaring the little girl, and all that.
Scaring the little girl! Scaring the little girl!
This review, I mean, yeah, it's true. He mentioned it in his audio commentary on it, very good report with Rob, where he was talking on, the Langoliers. Yeah, I don't even think Stephen King fans can defend that one. And it's that scary serial noise.
There's something making that horrible serial noise.
The overacting, the really dated effects, and the critic does certainly make fun of that. The film leads to a big letdown at the end. And so for the whole review, we're waiting for what big letdown can happen, and oh my gosh, is this ever a big letdown. But before that, it's so ridiculous anyway. And a lot of the humor in this review is dependent on some running gags throughout it, many of which there's numerous jokes about perfect strangers that the critic threw in, because Bronson Pinchot, or as he keeps calling throughout the review, Palpy, that's the character he played on Perfect Strangers. So there are a number of Perfect Strangers jokes, which I found them funny even though I have never seen Perfect Strangers. It's just funny enough. And of course, there's a good callback to the previous Stephen King review, Stephen King drinking game coming up.
Mine! I know we're not playing the Stephen King drinking game, but I don't care. I gotta take a drink to that!
And there's also a number of good references to The Shining and Airplane. There's very funny Airplane jokes. And oh yes, especially in the opening of this episode, he has a really funny parody of the Twilight Zone intro. So, another really funny review of a film that really just seems to have it covered.
Hello, hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Hello, hello,
Number 8,
Nostalgia Critic.
The Magic Voyage. This is another one. I mean, there's some films on the Nostalgia Critic that I have never heard of in my life. I mean, some of them, okay, a very few of them, like Space Jam, We're Back, Mr. Magoo, I've actually seen as a youngster, and there's some that I've heard of, such as, well, yeah, the Never Ending Story sequels I've heard of, but, well, the number of sequels he reviews in there I've heard of. I heard of Fern Gully, I heard of, then there's these ones, right, let's see here, well, yeah, the Dennis Rodman action films, yeah, the two animated Titanic movies, and Simple Wish, that's a, oh my, and then this one, oh my gosh, this is just another really good review, again, because it's a film that is just so terrible looking, in a way that just, it totally has it coming. Very much it feels similar to the Titanic, only not quite as historically offensive as those. But yeah, the animation is, he brings up very good points about the dubbing not always working, and the animation not always being very good, and the constant noise that is in here, and there's some noise right now. Goes on in there, and a lot of unnecessary noise, and also pointed out how the dubbing doesn't always work, and then random, really pointless musical numbers show up, and random dream sequences that have nothing to do with the plot.
Oh, the life to sea is a life for me. No love is a land of weed. La 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 la.
Well,
That don't contribute. It's the whole nonsense about the evil bug king and all this nonsense about how America was discovered. I mean, although not quite as historically offensive as the Titanic animated films. Doug would know that of that too. The Magic Voyage just goes completely off the edge of the world.
This must be a dream.
Hello, hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic. Hello, hello,
Number
I'm the
7.
Nostalgia Critic.
Ah yes, number 7. Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. I mean, when he talked about in the opening how it's a film where everything goes wrong, and that's why it's such an epic disaster. And then, certainly, I mean, seeing it from the view, again, this is one of the films I have not seen, but it's just absurd.